Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday. I got Kevin D. Turner in the house today. We're ready to rock it to the max. So before we get stuck in and start talking, Kevin, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself, let people know who you are and what you do, and then we'll get ready to rumble.
Very cool. My name is Kevin D. Turner. I am the managing partner of TNT Brand Strategist. And what I do is I help companies and individuals really define what they do and be able to present that in a consistent way that it becomes their personal brand, right? I always say I help them eliminate personal branding or even organizational branding, right? It's always done. You see a lot of it on LinkedIn. It's either they did too little or they threw everything in there and they did too much. I help them get it right. And so that's what I do. And I love doing it. And I think you and I share that passion about helping them get it right, get that image across. And I think that's just a wonderful area to be in our business.
I love it. I love it. And I always think of that. You did a post once with somebody with like a paper bag over their head, like the unknown comic, the unknown LinkedIn guy.
That was like back in 2016. I think it was the first time.
Yeah, it was just, but it's like sense. Stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head. Don't be that guy. Don't be that blank head.
And yet you see it every single day on LinkedIn still, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they wonder why. Why is it not working for me?
Yeah, LinkedIn doesn't work. Take the bag off. Take the bag off. Okay. So we are talking today about making YouTube a part of your LinkedIn strategy. And I know people are being like, what? I'm just trying to learn LinkedIn. And now you're talking to us about YouTube. But it's that YouTube can complement what you're doing on LinkedIn. Not that we're all bailing and going off to YouTube and saying, okay, LinkedIn doesn't work. You know, we've been wearing our paper bag too long.
And it's about us, right? Having YouTube channels was a symbol of us bailing. How many does LinkedIn have on YouTube? How many channels? Is it like 7 LinkedIn YouTube channels for news, for marketing, they probably have one for their accounting group. Who knows? But they're there. And I don't know if they're figuring out what's so attractive about YouTube, what works about YouTube. You know, both you and I have had that conversation that there are things there that we wish LinkedIn would do, right? That whole concept of video library, right? Which we know they've touched on. We've seen the new little LinkedIn feature, you know, with the filters coming out that's going to do that on our personal profiles. You pointed out earlier as we were talking that they've already got it kind of on the company page, but now it's going to be on our personal page. It's still going to be kind of chronologically sorted, right? So they're not quite there yet. But if they could give us that control, much like we have on YouTube, we can even present LinkedIn even better, I think. And I'm hoping that's what they're doing there. But just the fact that they're there tells you that you can grow your LinkedIn business and you can use other platforms, right, to sort, to feed, to focus things, and to do things that we can't do here. And so that's exciting.
Exactly. And I noticed that one of the biggest YouTube channels that LinkedIn has is LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of interesting because it's kind of like, it's like the gateway drug to LinkedIn. It's like, if you're on YouTube and you're just like, you're seeing all these LinkedIn learnings, and there's LinkedIn learnings about YouTube, which is like, kind of meta, but you know, you kind of go through and you just say, well, if they're doing that it's a doorway to LinkedIn. And that's how, if you're doing YouTube right, you're setting up. And Kevin, I just have to say this about your YouTube channel. It's excellent that you have links on your YouTube channel that take you to LinkedIn. You have links in each video that take you to LinkedIn. You put links in the first comment that you can pin. You can pin a comment on YouTube.
And it stays.
It stays. They didn't take that away. And it goes to LinkedIn. So you're basically, it's almost like it's another ocean to be fishing in. So you're dropping your line in YouTube, bringing them back to LinkedIn. And that's essentially what LinkedIn is doing on YouTube. They're bringing people to LinkedIn. It's doorway. It's a doorway.
You know, I remember when I first got on LinkedIn, I was traveling internationally a lot. And to me, it was a way to get people to stay connected with me, right? I would meet them in, Oman or wherever it was, Ontario, it didn't matter. And I'd say, let's connect on LinkedIn. And they would say, well, what's LinkedIn? Nobody ever says that anymore, right? You tell them LinkedIn, they're like, they either know about it, they're on it, or they don't, whatever it is, they already know. Then it was like, you had to kind of proselytize LinkedIn and get them to join so you could connect and stay connected. But now there's all these other people that know about LinkedIn, may already have a profile on LinkedIn, and you want to give them a reason to come visit and work with you and collaborate with you on LinkedIn. So you kind of have to bring them back in, but you don't have to establish them anymore, which I think is fantastic, right? So to me, it makes even more sense now to be doing this.
Exactly. And you even this live today, we're co-streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time. So we're kind of getting, a double bang for our buck by doing this. You can take this video afterwards, we can cut it up, we can repurpose it, we can make it into shorter ones, all sorts of different things. So you just kind of, if you kind of begin with the end in mind, and you're always thinking these things through, then that's how you develop the strategy. And I know that we also have talked about how you can use your YouTubes and you can embed those videos inside your LinkedIn articles, inside your LinkedIn newsletters, and why that's an advantage. And so many people, they get it wrong. They put a link and then the link bounces you to YouTube. Well, that's not the power. The power is that you can actually embed the video within the article so that when people watch it, they stay in LinkedIn.
Exactly.
They don't bounce out.
Then you can have multiple videos they can watch. They can then go down and comment and interact and ask you questions, maybe even invite you to do something with them, right? They're right there. And I think that's fantastic that, that was something new for LinkedIn last year to allow us to embed. Right before they wanted us to just link to stuff. Allowing us to embed is incredible, especially in that newsletter area, because I'll launch that out with a few videos every time, and I know you do. They have impact. We're kind of rewired in ourselves to read a little less, maybe watch a little more. Right? We want to be entertained. We want you to do the work for me. Tell me how it's done. I think that's just how people are now. And so, one of the things that I've really, really appreciated with using YouTube is people would message me on LinkedIn, or they might even email me on the email system. And they would say, well, what? I know you know this. How do you do X, Y, and Z? Right. And I would cut and paste and throw it in there, maybe modify it a little bit and, blah, blah, blah. It was boring me. And then they had to read it on the other side, maybe follow it through. Now it tells me if they're asking, make a video, right? And also make GIFs from those videos sometimes as well for demo purposes. But then you send them a link to the video. What I think is neat is when I'd have that conversation textually back and forth, right? Or even on a phone call or Zoom or whatever you want to do. There was always this, as you're trying to help them understand, they're like, oh, but what about? And they never really figure out what you're trying to tell them. We never really get to that point because you got all these sidetracks. When you send them a video, it's got a focus, right? Yes. And they'll watch that and they'll interact with it. And because of that, it just, I don't know, I think the learning part of it is better for the individual, because what I've had is people come back and say, I get that. And they don't have any questions, or they might have some questions that are into a different area. And I send them another video, hopefully, right? But it works, and they can watch it anytime they are available to watch it. They can send it off to other people. We do a lot of profile optimizations. And one of the concepts that is the hardest to explain to people is market value filters. that in areas like location and title and degree, LinkedIn has filters built in there that are already pre-populated. And if you use the filter, your rankings go up, your searchability goes up, because they understand what that filter means. So, and I learned this many years ago. We did a optimization for the head of HR for an internet-based company. I won't say their name. They used to do search engine and emails and all that kind of stuff. The guy's title was Cloud9 Navigator. Everybody's going to understand that, right? You had it typed right into LinkedIn, Cloud9 Navigator. Everybody's going to find me because I'm in this big internet company and they need my services. We changed it to Chief Human Resource Officer. He was a number 4 guy in this company. And he was picked up within 2 weeks. He was scalped right off LinkedIn by a headhunter because they knew what that meant, right? So, LinkedIn's an interesting place. The fact that it is the world's largest database of resumes, that's what a profile is when you talk to LinkedIn. They call it a resume, actually, on the other side. And some of the coding actually says resume as opposed to profile. That's the core source. They've got to be able to make sense out of it. And let's say you only had titles on your profile. If they were market value titles, LinkedIn would assign through AI the skills that you would have to be able to hold that title. So they could actually qualify you for positions, for opportunities, for recruiters looking for you, even if you had no content, because you use their market value filters. That's a hard concept to explain to somebody. You're like, but that's not what my company calls me. They call you Cloud9 Navigator for a reason. They don't want anybody to find you, right? Use the market value. That video itself, I send that off as homework before I do a profile optimization, and people are like, oh, I get that. Whereas before they wanted to talk about, that could be an hour conversation, but that's not what the company calls me. They watch the video. There's nobody to argue with, right? There's nobody to ask questions with in the middle. They absorb, they might play it a couple times, go back and forth, whatever they're doing, but they get it. And then they come back to me with those market value titles. I'm like, I never really thought about this. And that affects everything you do. Even when you put it into a resume and you apply, it's going to affect that as well. So,
Exactly.
That's something that to me is streamlined things dramatically by using, again, YouTube to support my LinkedIn business. And I couldn't do it any other way.
I'm the same way. And I also appreciate with YouTube that if I send somebody a link, I can even set the time stamp of where I want it to start. So I do that a lot where it's like, okay, the first bit, you don't really need to sit and listen to that, but I'm going to send this link starting at, 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And then it, boom, just gets right into what they need to know, which
you're much fancier than I am. I've not tried that. That's the other kind of fun thing. There's so many new things. Yes. I love new things, right? I love new things on LinkedIn, but I love the fact that there's so many new little things on YouTube. And one of the things I hope, if LinkedIn is there learning, I hope one of the things they'll notice is on the side of your little studio at YouTube, they have new features. How do you use them? Why should you use them? How do you make this better? How do you do that better? How do you use our system to maximize whatever it is you're here to get as a goal? I hope LinkedIn learns that one, because
but then we'd all be out of a job.
No, there's always more, right? There's always more. We know what to do with things they don't know what to do with.
That's true. That's true.
And how to use them to better what you're doing, because they don't always get what they've got.
Right. Yeah. Well, and speaking of new features, of course, one of the biggest things is the shorts. And when the shorts, shorts is basically how YouTube was competing against TikTok. Mm-hmm. And when the shorts first came out, they kind of told anybody who had a YouTube channel, it doesn't count towards views. And, so it was like, nobody was really, some people jumped onto it and took their TikToks and made them shorts and yada, yada. But until they said these count now as hours watched, these count towards your, you're going to get more subscribers. Now people are I'm finally starting to take shorts seriously. And I think that, again, they're just pieces of bait that you can throw out there that people, we're in an age where people just pick up their phone and they're scrolling, and a short is something quick. A short is less than a minute. So short form content is really important. But again, I think that LinkedIn is probably looking at YouTube and looking at the shorts and saying, and we were laughing about this before we started, because we said, what would LinkedIn call their shorts, right? And I came up with Linky Dinkies.
I think that's it. What else would you call them? They can't use stories anymore, right? They kind of burnt that one. So
no, shorts is taken, reels is taken. Yep. I don't even know what you call TikToks. I guess they're just TikToks. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But I think, again, if you look at it, these are really important. YouTube has moments where they take a video and then they break them down into sort of the chapters, so that you can, because we're at an age now that if you have like a 10-minute video, maybe you just want to jump into, okay, I know how to do this bit, but here is where I want it to start. So then you know exactly where you can chapter through. So these are all ideas of what hopefully could be coming to LinkedIn. Yeah. And there's just so many different ways that you can be using it. So Kevin, let me ask you, I know that you are taking video content from LinkedIn to YouTube, YouTube to LinkedIn. Do you have a preference of, do you like it to go to YouTube first and then you put it to LinkedIn? I go the other way. I do LinkedIn and repurpose to YouTube, but what's your strategy?
And it probably goes back to, how did I get back into YouTube? Because I've got a couple of YouTube channels. I've been there since, I think, 2007, one of them. That, I sold a few houses, my own houses, through there. I did for sale by owner, and I made YouTube videos, right? And so I'd used it before, but I kind of forgot about it, right? Got so involved in LinkedIn and forgot about it until you and I were having a discussion late last year. And that was, I wanted to start getting back into video, because I used to do video all the time. I want to get back into it. I wanted to start posting it, but I wanted it to be inclusive and have captioning. And LinkedIn didn't have the option. We're fighting with them, in the beta process, and they just weren't getting it out. And I said, Gillian, where's a good place to get this done? And you suggested YouTube. So opened a new account, didn't want to use the old ones, opened a new account. And that's where I started. So I'd upload the video that I actually created for LinkedIn. And I did one of them today as one of my posts. And it was about inclusive use of emojis and fancy fonts and all that kind of stuff, and how it is not inclusive, right? And so that was one of the first ones I went in there and I loaded it, and it created those closed captions. I brought those closed captions back to LinkedIn, posted my video, added the captions in as, what is it, SRT file? Is that what it was? Yep. Something like that. And it worked. And that's how I got into putting videos back into YouTube, right? And then all of a sudden I noticed people started following, and I said, well, that's weird, because I didn't do it for them to follow. I was going to try to put it all over here, but it started building momentum. And so, to me, that process was exciting. And then I discovered these other things that I could answer questions using those videos, right? And, it was working really well. But as far as repurposing them into LinkedIn, I've tried both. I haven't really noticed a significant difference in, does it work well? So I normally will take the link from my YouTube, put it in my post, take the link out, and just leave the YouTube there connected, right? So people can play it. They can go to YouTube, watch it, all that good stuff. It just seems easier. Now, I did one just the other day, which was kind of an intro video I put on YouTube. It was 60 seconds. I also made a short out of it, but it was 60 seconds. So that one, I just took that same video, brought it over, and used LinkedIn's automated closed captioning to see how did it compare to YouTube's closed captioning. And they were very equal. So to me, it was a little bit of an experiment. Again, I've not noticed a difference, but maybe the shorter stuff is easier probably to put on LinkedIn. The longer stuff may be easier to link to that YouTube channel, right? And I've been running a couple of contests, right, to get people to go to the YouTube channel, to subscribe, right? To watch 2 videos, to make 2 comments. And, in exchange, if they're willing to do that, I put them into a kind of a lottery drawing, right? The wheel of names spin, and 2 of them will get a full profile review. It's been a really good builder because I've only had this YouTube channel open now for a little over 3 months, and I'm already went past 300 subscribers, and I'm about a little over a third of the way to what they would call monetization on YouTube. So that's pretty accelerated. But I know I couldn't have done that if I wasn't on LinkedIn, had a following enough that they said, ooh, that's an exciting incentive, right? I will go try this thing. And I'm getting a lot of brand new subscribers who don't have any other, they don't subscribe to any other channels. So it's their first in at YouTube as well. And so I think it's all fitting really nicely together.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing is that you can get so many, if you're an analytical kind of person, you can see, where are my people coming from? What kind of devices are they using? Are they using phones? Are they using computers? Are they using a TV? A lot of people do YouTube on TV. And you can see what country. Are they more men, women? What are their ages? So you get those kind of analytics, which, again, sometimes it would be nice if we had more of that breakdown, with, you can see when the watch time dropped off. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, something happens, they got really interested.
Right, go right to it, and you'll have the video right below, and you're like, oh, that's when I stumbled or did something really dumb. It's there, and you can actually then take that and edit out that little component, and then you watch the play doesn't drop again. Right. Now it is tricky. I do have to admit, I think their editor is. And probably the biggest disadvantage of YouTube is you can't replace a video, which you can do that on Vimeo, which is nice. But with YouTube, it's like, if all of a sudden, oh, it looks different now, I'd like to correct that. You can't. You can't correct. I can kind of understand that way. And that's the same reason that LinkedIn doesn't allow you to replace a picture, right? Because if you had a picture and it was a picture of an apple and everybody said, oh, I love apples, right? And then next week you change it to a banana.
Right.
All those comments are wrong, right?
Right.
And so I think LinkedIn thought, no, we can't let you change this. And I think YouTube's thinking the same thing. You can do an edit, make it a little better, but you can't completely wipe it out, put something else in there, because then all these comments, and people would do that. They would have old videos that had 16,000 views. That product is no longer available. Let's slide the new one in. And we look like we've got now 16,000 views and all these people loving the new product that just came out, right?
Right.
I kind of get it.
Yep.
Not that any marketer would ever do something like that, but I'm sure there are a few out there, and so I kind of get why they won't. And, people like you and I wouldn't do that in that sense. We would do it to make it better. Right. But there's a lot of people who would do it for another reason. So sometimes they spoil the process for all of us.
For the rest of us. Well, let's take some comments. So we've got we've got a lot. Okay. So we got Jeff Young in the front row. Great topic. Gillian and Kevin. I can't even spell YouTube. So I'm going to learn a lot. He's got a YouTube
channel there.
He's hidden. He's hidden. Okay.
So here we go. What's in the green room? Before we came on, all the goodies. Because I don't think he gets the same ones.
The snacks. So we've got Diana, who's also from Texas, and she is on YouTube. So she's our person watching this on YouTube today. So that's great. And again, this is the power of what you can do with your LinkedIn Lives that you can co-stream.
Diana, subscribe to me today. I'll come and subscribe to you.
All right. That's good. Okay. We got Nigel in the house today. Looking good. Looking forward to learning more about YouTube. It's amazing. Just start asking around all the people I am boggled. It boggles my mind. I can't even list all the people that I know on LinkedIn that have YouTube channels. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's absolutely huge. Tina, she's another one with a YouTube channel. She does the co-streaming as well. Hello, Gillian and Kevin. Greetings from Belgium. You are walking the talk with videos. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. We got Marcia. Hello, Gillian and Kevin, the king and queen of LinkedIn audio. Well, I don't know if we're audio, but we're hoping to do video. We're hoping to do video. Thank you for joining us. We got Dan Roth in the house. Hey,
Right.
hey, Diana says YouTube is a great compliment for any business. The search engine is so powerful. That is worth talking about, in that when people go, so if you kind of say, well, what's the difference between YouTube and LinkedIn? LinkedIn to me is a social platform. It's for building relationships. It's for a community. If you even look at the difference between watching a LinkedIn live on LinkedIn, we've got people commenting, and sometimes you'll go through the comments and it's like Nigel's talking to Tina and Tina's talking to Jeff, and they're ignoring us. We're the ones that are talking. but I kind of liken it to a party, but it's more of a feeling of social community that's going on. All of our relationships we're dealing with on LinkedIn, we're building social relationships with clients and colleagues, et cetera, et cetera. Now, and of course, if you're looking for a job, you're working with recruiters, hiring managers, prospective people that you would work with. But YouTube, it's more of I do a video and I push it out, and I might be talking with people in the comments, but I'm not getting to know other YouTubers. It's just a broadcast.
Have you done a premiere yet?
No, I have not.
With a premiere, you can actually set up, at X time, I'm going to launch this new video, right? They've got these great intros that are really kind of crazy. I like the one that's technology. It's kind of great sound to it, great visual. And then it goes into the thing, and there's an open chat now on YouTube. So whoever comes to the premiere can be chatting with you, asking you questions. I've had a couple that were really good, and I had a couple that were, nothing happened. Again, it's building momentum, right? Getting everybody there. But I thought that was interesting because maybe YouTube learned something from LinkedIn.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, it could be going either way. And I know personally, if I need to go find a video, because YouTube has such an incredible search engine, and we must always remember that is the key to YouTube. People are going to search for how to do something. And if they see a video, there's always suggested videos. So you might come up, if you do a video, you might come up in the search. People might just be a subscriber, so they're notified you have a video, but sometimes they'll just see you as a suggested video and check you out. So there's many ways. So I think you're more findable on YouTube, whereas in LinkedIn, I know if I have to go find a video, it's painstaking.
I can't even find my own video that I did yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Without going to my profile or something, it's like if you're searching for it, it's next to impossible on LinkedIn. They look at it like a library, right? Like the Dewey Decimal System. If you want to find it, you can find it. We can take you right there, milliseconds, and then we'll offer you some options, just like a good librarian used to, right here. And here's 5 other books you might want to read.
Yes. Playlists.
The SEOs into YouTube, I think, is fascinating. The tags, and then just what content you put in underneath, how that drives a lot of that findability. They really opened that up and said, if you're good at this, if you're going to use the right words, they're going to find you. And so I think that's kind of cool.
Yep. And then of course, YouTube is owned by Google. So, so Google's the first best search engine in not best, but most popular search engine. YouTube is second. And so if somebody is searching for something on Google, your video could show up from YouTube, which again makes you more findable. So these are just ways of getting yourself more visible and less bland.
Yep, you got it.
Right. Okay, so we've got Sarah Clay. Hey,
Hey.
two of my favorites. Woo-hoo-hoo. Pin a comment on a concept. And again, that's some of the things that YouTube offers is the pin the comments. I don't know. Somebody told me that maybe there's it's either come or it's coming that you might be able to have a video comment back. That's something
We're
that I
always
heard.
hoping for that. We're always
Yeah.
hoping that, or even an audio comment back. Any of those kind of things would be wonderful as far as, and to me, that makes a lot of sense. I think LinkedIn is really getting after video. So I think there's a lot of changes coming this year. Video is going to be into a lot more things.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I agree. And we've got Sarah Burgess, evening,
Hey.
Gillian and Kevin. Woo. And let me just grab Rebecca. Gillian and Kevin a bit late, but then looking forward to this live. Oh, good.
We're done, Rebecca. We said it all.
Well, actually, it's 30 minutes. So we there's tons more comments, and we'll go back and we'll answer them afterwards. But Kevin, okay, so I do like to try and keep these to 30 minutes. So kind of give us your sum it all up for us with some sage advice from somebody who's kind of like getting back onto YouTube and really integrating it with their LinkedIn strategy. What are your sort of tips and words of wisdom?
I think it goes back to, we are very visually wired these days. We are looking to be entertained into our education, right? What do they call it? Edutainment, right? We want that. Video is the quickest way there. LinkedIn is trying, right? Not there yet. YouTube is brilliant at it, and you can use it to drive your LinkedIn business. And so there's no reason it can't coexist and actually build upon that. And if you go to my channel, there's nothing on there about YouTube. It's all LinkedIn, right? So where are they going to go when they need me? And to me, I love the fact that you can do that and you can focus that way, and it has an impact. So I would suggest anybody go out there and experiment. I'm still learning. There's things I'm finding every single day, and some things I'm like, how do you do that? And I'm seeing it on other people's profiles, and I'm figuring it out. We'll get there, right? And we'll try to share that as we can. But I think it's just a great tool to help build your LinkedIn goals, whatever they are.
I love it. And you're right. You can just use it in so many ways to support you and support your customers, support your colleagues, support your network. So many great tools. Okay. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you, Kevin, for being here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you have more questions, just go ahead, type them in. If you're on the replay, go ahead, type them in. We'll respond to all of them. Check out Kevin's YouTube channel. Check out my YouTube channel. And it's just been a great live. So thank you for being here today, Kevin. And we'll see you guys all next time. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.